Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's equal parts thrilling, mysterious, and deeply thought-provoking. It's a tale that revolves around a prophecy, a warning, and a journey of self-discovery. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Our story begins with a man named Daniel, an ordinary guy living an ordinary life. He's not particularly religious, nor does he believe in the supernatural. But all of that is about to change in the most unexpected way. It was a quiet Tuesday evening when Daniel first heard the voice. He had just finished dinner and was settling down to watch some TV when a sudden, overwhelming presence filled the room. The air grew heavy, and a brilliant light appeared before him. Out of the light emerged a figure, tall, radiant, and emanating an aura of power and authority. It was the Archangel Michael. Daniel was frozen in place, his mind racing. Was this a dream? A hallucination? But the Archangel's voice was clear and commanding, cutting through his doubts. "Daniel," Michael said, his voice resonating with a divine authority, "within 3 days, you will be stabbed by your own." And just like that, the vision vanished, leaving Daniel in stunned silence. The words echoed in his mind, "Stabbed by your own." But stabbed by his own what? His own hand? His own knife? The ambiguity of the message was maddening. The next 3 days were a whirlwind of fear and confusion. Daniel couldn't shake the prophecy. He became hyper-aware of every sharp object in his house. Knives, scissors, even the letter opener on his desk, they all seemed like potential instruments of his doom. He started to avoid people, fearing that someone close to him might be the one to fulfill the prophecy. His friends noticed the change in him. "You look like you've seen a ghost," one of them said. If only they knew, Daniel's paranoia grew with each passing hour. He barely slept, jumping at every sound, every shadow. He even considered calling the police, but what would he say? "Hi, I think I'm going to be stabbed in the next few days by something." They'd think he was crazy. On the 3rd day, Daniel reached his breaking point. He couldn't take the suspense anymore. He decided to confront his fear head-on. He gathered all the sharp objects in his house and locked them in a drawer. Then, he sat down and tried to make sense of what was happening. As he sat there, a thought occurred to him. What if the prophecy wasn't literal? What if it was a metaphor? What if being stabbed by your own referred to something internal, like being hurt by his own actions, his own choices? This realization hit him like a ton of bricks. He thought about all the times he had sabotaged himself, the bad decisions, the missed opportunities, the relationships he had ruined. Could the Archangel's warning be about self-destruction rather than physical harm? As the hours ticked by, Daniel began to see the truth in his realization. He had been his own worst enemy, stabbing himself in the back time and time again. The prophecy wasn't about an external threat, it was about the internal battle he had been fighting all along. With this newfound understanding, Daniel felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew what he had to do. He needed to change, to stop being his own adversary and start being his own ally. He spent the rest of the day reflecting on his life, identifying the patterns of self-sabotage, and making a plan to break free from them. He reached out to friends he had pushed away, apologized for his past mistakes, and committed to making better choices moving forward. The 3 days passed, and Daniel was still alive. There was no stabbing, no physical harm. But he had been stabbed in a different way, by the painful truth of his own self-destructive behavior. The experience changed him. He became more mindful of his actions, more intentional in his choices. He started to rebuild the relationships he had damaged and pursued goals he had long abandoned. The prophecy, once a source of terror, had become a catalyst for transformation. In the end, Daniel realized that the Archangel Michael's message was a gift, a wake-up call to confront the parts of himself that were holding him back. It was a reminder that sometimes, the greatest threats we face come from within, and the only way to overcome them is to face them head-on. So, what can we take away from Daniel's story? Well, it's a powerful reminder that we all have the capacity to be our own worst enemies. Whether it's through self-doubt, fear, or bad habits, we can sometimes stab ourselves in ways that are just as damaging as any external threat, but the good news is, we also have the power to change. We can choose to stop the cycle of self-sabotage and start making choices that align with our true potential. It's not always easy, but as Daniel learned, it's always worth it. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And remember, the next time you feel like you're your own worst enemy, take a step back, reflect, and choose to be your own best ally instead. Until next time, take care and stay curious.